What's going on YouTube? It's your boy CamATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You know what time it is. It is the Fantasy Locker Room podcast. Of course, I have my uncle here with me. How are you doing, Craig?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I just finished wrecking these kids at the YMCA basketball game.
Hey man, shout out to you. Shout out to you, man. Little man doing big things.
Yeah, y'all
out there
seen
on that basketball.
You seen that video where that guy's like, "Oh, kill him," you know what I mean? Like that's how I do, man. I'm like,
that's you?
Yeah, like my 1-year-old daughter, she's like trying to get the ball and stuff, and I like trip her up and make her fall on her butt.
Yeah,
like,
you're crossing her up and shit.
Yeah, I cross her up hard. Yeah.
I believe it. I've been on the court with you multiple times. Speaking of being on the court, Demetrius McCray, cornerback. He was cornerback for the Jaguars. He played basketball with me in high school, and he just got picked up by the Oakland Raiders. So that is pretty awesome because the Raiders secondary is so banged up, he could possibly get the start there. So y'all keep an eye out for Demetrius McCray. Used to play ball with me in high school. Now he's a cornerback for the Oakland Raiders. That's pretty cool.
Oh man, that just reminded me. You remember when you moved here? Hey guys, I need to tell y'all this for the loyal listeners who follow us regularly. Your boy CamATL has got some serious basketball game. I am not joking. That kid's shot is wet. I'm telling you. He gets in the zone sometimes, and it doesn't matter where he is on the court, no matter who's defending him or guarding him, he just throws that ball up and it just like swishes in the net. I'm like fouling him, hip checking him, like I'm playing like hockey with him, trying to stop that shot sometimes, and it's just going down. It is so infuriating. It makes me so mad, dude. But it's so good. Like I'm serious. Like if I'm a team captain, right, and I have CamATL when he's on and Steph Curry, and it's my turn to pick. Okay, my turn to pick, and it's CamATL when he's on, and Steph Curry, right? I'm picking Steph Curry because that dude's in my hall pass, guys. What were y'all thinking I was going to say? Come on, it's Stephen Curry, man. I mean, I named my daughter after his daughter. All right.
I honestly, though, I'm going to be real. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I honestly feel like if me and Steph Curry had a three-point contest, he would either very barely beat me, or I would have a chance of beating him. All right, enough of talking about myself.
Oh, real quick, I just got to shout this out because y'all going to see my. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm on Twitter now. If you feel like giving me a follow, I appreciate it. I am Uncle Craig DFS. Uncle CRAIG DFS. Uncle Craig DFS, guys. You're going to see my little logo there, and it's a picture of my main man. All right, Daniel Rudiger. You guys know what I'm talking about.
He just announced the dude's Rudy. You could have just said Rudy, and they know what you're talking about.
I just want to
you announced the whole entire name.
I just want to make sure that these guys know what's up. See, I was that kid. I'm that try-hard kid. Like, Cameron's got that nice talent and stuff, but I'm that guy, the coach is saying, if you effers would try half as hard as Craig, we'd go to state. I'm that guy. I'm the try hard, like get in there and hustle and motivate and play that dirty defense.
Like when I first moved here, guys, real quick, we're gonna get this over with quick, and then we're gonna start talking about the slate. But like real quick, when I first moved here, we had like a little rec league that I had with my uncle and a bunch of like older friends of his. Like, so it wasn't like I was the youngest one on the team, and literally I didn't have a great supporting cast. But what I knew though is when my Uncle Craig came into the game, he was gonna like put his all into it. There was multiple times where he would get fouled out within like 2 minutes because he just tries so hard. Like, and that's the good thing. You know what you're gonna get out of Craig. You're gonna get at least a minute or two before he fouls out of pure effort.
Dude, oh God, the one thing I remember about that game, besides you dropping like freaking 15 threes or something. That first game, I remember I hadn't got on the scoreboard, and it's getting late to the game. The other team was still whooping us, guys. Okay, even though CamATL was dropping those threes, we just didn't have the talent. And Man, I remember towards the end of the game, I hadn't got really involved except for like playing some defense and like picking people and stuff like that. And anyways, I go up and I get my rebound, right? I get my whole like full vertical 3 inches off the ground, fighting for a rebound. The only people around me are my own teammates, and I'm like elbowing them and crap.
Okay, 3 inches. 3 inches is a little bit of an exaggeration. You were you were probably an
I
inch
said
and a half,
I went
be
full
honest.
vertical. All right, I used to have some hops, but I'll tell y'all that another day. The story of why I don't have hops anymore. But it's kind of like a Odell Beckham of what happened. Oh, I shouldn't have brought that up, but sorry, Odell, man. That was a rough injury you got there, bro. But anyways, so I went up hard as I could, man. I'm like beast mode, bro. Elbowing, fighting, and it's not even the other team, it's my own teammates. I wanted that rebound, right? And I got the rebound, and I start driving down, and like the other team, right, they see the desperation in my eyes. They're up by like 20, 30, and I got that desperation. I'm just like, let me have a damn shot. And I'm driving down, it's getting towards the end of the game. It's like the seas just part. They don't even play defense.
Literally, time slowed
right,
down.
Exactly.
And all you could hear in the background was just like
right. So I stopped.
And
dude, I stop and pop. It felt fast to me. When you're low to the ground like that, like when you're on a go-kart, it feels like you're going really fast even though you're going slow. That's kind of how it is for me when I run. So anyways, I stop and pop 3, bam, swish that stuff, and that's the only highlight I got. I got on video. My wife was recording. So hey, as far as anybody knows, man, I'm a superstar in my book.
You know what's crazy, guys? Is I scored like 40 plus games in that point, and not one of my shots is recorded. but yet his key drive to the basket with like 2 seconds left.
It's so funny, dude, because she's got me like fighting for the rebound with my own teammates and stuff. Like it's bad. But anyway.
I gotta see that again, dude. Next time we're near each other,
maybe
I
I'll
need to
post
see that video.
All right.
So
let's get into this.
yeah, post it. That'd be hilarious. All right, dude. So let's go straight into this slate, man. Let's go ahead and talk about our our hall pass. Let's talk about our hall pass, guys. Go ahead and start off with your quarterbacks, and then I'll name mine, and we'll keep going.
All right,
like
the
that.
first guy that makes my hall pass lists is going to be Mr. Drew Brees at QB, guys. I'm really liking. He's at home in his dome. We all know that Drew Brees is better when he's playing at home. He's playing against a formidable offense in Detroit, so I expect that this game is going to be high scoring. Speaking of that, it is the highest total on the slate.
And Lions defense has been playing solid, so that might keep some people off of him. I love Drew Brees regardless. Like, it doesn't matter who the defense is. When Drew Brees is at home and going against a team that will also be able to score very easily, you got to pretty much
Well, I mean, even their running backs, Ingram and Kamara, we'll get to them later, but they're getting heavily involved in the passing game, both of them. Kamara had 10 targets last game. Ingram had 8. I mean, that's like 18 targets to your running back. Their running game is Drew Brees passing to them. So, I mean, he's good. So I really think Drew Brees is going to be our safest. I think he's going to be my cash game quarterback. I feel comfortable with him this week in cash and GPP. I like him.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'll go ahead and throw one of mine out. The quarterback that is in my hall pass is the guy opposite of Drew Brees. I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford. Among the two, Stafford's got the better matchup. As we know, he's a little banged up, but Stafford's going to play. We know one thing about Stafford is he's got to be nearly dead to not play. Like, this dude's super tough, so he'll play. Matthew Stafford going against a New Orleans defense that just doesn't stop anything, and we expect New Orleans to move the ball. So yeah, I'm going to go the opposite side of that game and say Matthew Stafford. I've got to go Matthew.
I actually like that a lot, almost for the same reasons. Good offense against a banged up defense, and the price differential between the two is pretty significant when you factor Drew Brees is at 72 and Mr. Stafford's at 65. You're getting a $700 discount. So yeah, no, I'm on board with that, dude. I like that pick. All right, so for me, my next hall pass member, this was tough because you took one of the guys that I liked, so I'm getting the combination. So we're going down the list now, guys. We're trying to give you the value people that we really like that are in good situations. And my two guys that I'm just going to throw out here, because I could not decide between the two of them, I would be willing to play them equally in GPPs, and that is Brian Hoyer against Washington without Greg Norman at 5,100, and also Case Keenum against Green Bay at home in his dome, right there at 5,000 and 5,100 respectively. I really like their
Yeah,
potential upsides in their matchups and their prices.
I agree.
All rolled into one puts them on my hall pass list.
Yeah, I like both of those dudes, man. Definitely, yeah. Case Keenum, great matchup. Gonna be throwing a lot. Yeah, and Hoyer versus Josh Normanless Washington secondary is a thing to be reckoned with. Yeah, so just mentioning Brian Hoyer, I have to mention like Pierre Garcon's probably gonna have a monster game, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I like him. I'll be pairing. And the Millionaire Maker lineup last week was a Brian Hoyer team. You know, it was Brian Hoyer with
Right.
Kittle.
Like, yeah, a lot of times when you look at the Millie Maker winners, they kind of do get kind of the middle road quarterback.
Yeah, and Hoyer was on our Playboy list last week also. So
Right. Yeah, so he did his thing for sure. Yeah, and I think he could have a huge game here, man. So I love that. I'm gonna stick with somebody that was on my hall pass last week, and that's Josh McCown. Once again, he's got a great matchup going against New England. New England's going to be firing, putting a bunch of points on the scoreboard. McCown is at home in New York. Um, Going against a New England team that has given up nearly, like, I mean, just ridiculous points. 34, 25, 25,
yeah,
37, 21 are the DraftKings points they've given up
they
so
they
far
are
this
the
year.
worst in the league right now.
Yeah. Oh,
Dead
yeah.
last in the league of points against in the for the QB position. They are giving
They're
it up. I
garbage.
mean, seriously, the next worst is the Colts, and you know, based on the list that I'm looking at might not include PPR, but it's 20.78 versus 25. So we're looking at a 4 point differential. You know, all the rest are jumbled up. They are head and shoulders the worst in the league right now against the QB position.
Speaking of, since you brought up the Colts, I'm gonna just mention somebody a cheaper option like McCown is Jacoby Brissett at 58 going against
Yeah,
Tennessee. Yeah.
if you're playing that the full slate guys,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're gonna hit on all of these guys
Yeah.
today.
We're
Just
going to
try to
touch
get this
on
video.
guys from Monday and Thursday too. Just so you guys who are going to be playing that Thursday through Monday slate or whatever, you still get our opinions on those guys. So I like Jacoby a lot
Yeah,
if
I
you're
do
playing
too.
that slate.
Against Tennessee, I mean, come on,
Right.
they are definitely giving it
All
up
right,
as
running
well.
backs.
So yeah.
Go ahead and give your first one.
Oh, my first one. Hey, I'm gonna keep on my train. He's been there for 3 weeks, or this will be the third week, I
Uh-huh.
think. So, Mr. Leonard Fournette. All right, this man has rushed the ball more than anybody else in the league this year. Okay,
Right.
I think he has 109 rushes. The next closest to him is Le'Veon Bell. Uh, so he's getting more volume than anybody as far as attempts rushing the ball.
And you know
And
how I feel about picking on this Rams run defense. Like I love it, dude. I mean, they
yeah,
have not been good versus the run. So Fournette getting the ball so many times, he's gonna have a solid outing for sure.
yeah, I just love it. I think who was it? I think Marshawn Lynch actually said something. I'm not going to use the curse words, but he's like, you keep punching a effort in the mouth over and over again. You know, just keep punching them in the mouth, punching them in the mouth, punching them in the mouth, and then finally you break. That's kind of how I think about Leonard Fournette, man. They just keep feeding him the rock. He keeps
Yeah,
pounding that defense, and eventually holes break loose. I mean, I'm not
they just give
expecting a
up.
90-yard run at the end of a game, you know, to happen again this
Right,
season for him. But
right,
the dude is
right.
solid. His carries are amazing. His volume is great. His team is solid. His defense is solid. All in all, and with this matchup, Leonard Fournette's safe, man. I'm putting him in
Oh
most
yeah, good
of
cash game
everything.
lineup. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
yeah,
the
I'm
only
with you.
reason I might be off of him is because there is quite a bit of value at running back this week. This is the first week we've popped so much new value, but you know, so if I'm willing to go like scrubs and duds and like put in all the value running backs and then try to go up elsewhere, I might fade him. But if I'm not taking that strategy on some, which I will, but if I'm locking him in my cash.
I'm with you on that, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and add to your running back
Okay,
hall
your
pass
hall
and
pass.
say Kareem Hunt.
All right.
Running back for Kansas City, going against Pittsburgh. Good matchup. Fournette just dropped 34 on him. Jordan Howard, week 3, dropped 35 on him. I think this could be a 30-plus DraftKings points game at a Kareem. And it's been a few weeks since he's gotten that huge game. 19 and 17 is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be mad about that, but he's definitely got that huge 49 upside as we saw week 1. And this is a good matchup versus Pittsburgh, and this Kansas City defense is good too. So they're going to incorporate Kareem Hunt regardless if they fall behind or get ahead. And that's the best part about it. He's a great cash option at 8,200. Also, right under him, I just want to mention him, Todd Gurley. I don't want to skip over Todd Gurley completely, but I'm not going to put him in my hall pass because obviously Kareem Hunt's the main guy. But Gurley going against Jacksonville is a solid option too at 7,700. Gurley damn near got in the end zone last week.
Yeah.
All right. He fumbled right there on the 1 yard line. So not only did we not get that touchdown, but you got minus a fumble.
So frustrating.
So, yeah, it's frustrating. But I think he bounces back here against Jacksonville is an amazing defense, don't get me wrong. But Gurley is the only guy for that team.
Yeah, but at that price range, man, it's going to be hard to get off Fournette and Hunt. I could see guys pivoting down to Gurley just to get some, variation.
Yeah, I mean, at 77... I
think he's going to get overlooked this week, don't you? With Fournette
for sure.
Hunt right there by him.
Yeah, hell yeah. Gurley's going to be a good little GPP play, I think, possibly.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like guys like Devontae Freeman, that price, yeah. I like his potential. But yeah, man, so our hall pass at the top of the running back list, mine's Leonard Fournette again. The guy has been beasting, and Cam's is Kareem Hunt. All right, so next on the hall pass list, we like to give some value also. So we're going to skip all those middle tiers and get down to our value guys. Now mine, guys, we're putting this video out on Thursday. Okay, so we'll have to keep an eye on injuries, but this guy definitely makes my hall pass list if his partners in crime are injured and going to be inactive. And this is Mr. McGuire, Elijah McGuire for the New York Jets. All right, so this is contingent on Matt Forte injury, which he's trending that he may play and be active, but he could just be a decoy, and then Bilal Powell being injured and missing. If both of those guys are inactive, you have to go and lock in Elijah McGuire with this matchup against New England. They're going to be down.
I agree.
It's just too good. You cannot miss this opportunity. His upside potential and volume alone makes his price tag ridiculous if both those guys are in. So you cannot skip on this. You can fade it in GPPs if you want, okay, to get some chalk and just hope that he busts when he's going to be super heavily owned if that's the case. And that's a fine strategy if you want, knowing that you are doing that on purpose. But in cash, you cannot fade that chalk. Okay, it just doesn't make sense to take that risk.
I agree.
All right. Now,
I agree, dude.
I'm going to give a contingency guy just in case these other New York Jet running backs, one or two of them even play, and that's going to be our boy Alvin Kamara. I've been tooting his horn. Oh, that sounds gross.
Yeah.
But I've been on his bandwagon the entire season, man. I just like him and his potential in that New Orleans offense. He is a great passing back or receiving back. Okay, and that works so well in New Orleans, and they just got rid of Adrian Peterson, which gets rid of some of those annoying carries that you had to worry about Adrian coming in and grabbing. So
and Michael Thomas is going to deal with Darius Slay. It's going to open up for Willie Snead and Alvin Kamara, and both those running backs, Ingram and Kamara. And
and I do like Ingram too. I think Ingram is a safer cash game play, but I still like Kamara, so it's going to be hard. I think I'm going to mix those two in wherever I play that because they're only 100 difference. So I can play Kamara and Ingram and just like interchange the two evenly. You know what I mean? And hope that one hits big and the other one flops and give you some difference. But anyways, your turn, bro. Who's your next guy?
All right, so my cheap guy that I want to put in mine is going to have to be Jerick McKinnon from Minnesota.
Yeah.
We all saw what he did Monday night, and thank God he did it on Monday night because his price only increased $100. So he is just ridiculous value going against a Green Bay team who's not very good against the run. Minnesota's going to be without Sam Bradford. Keenum's going to be under there, which means Keenum's going to be looking down the check down. I mean, he has looked solid in his starts this year so far, Keenum. But one weakness about Green Bay is they're not good versus pass catching backs. They're kind of like Atlanta as well. They're not good versus pass catching backs, and Jerick McKinnon can catch passes. He dropped 26 on Chicago. I think he could get you easily 15 plus here in this matchup. Latavius Murray is just no worry. They know what they have with him, and it's just somebody who's not prepared to really get a full workload again yet. He's just not going to be the guy. It's going to be Jerick McKinnon. My deep within my loins was telling me that, because I've been ever since last year when McKinnon got his opportunity, I've been big on McKinnon. And this time when this injury happened, I was like, oh, McKinnon. And then slept on it a little bit. Didn't play him that much, but yeah, Jerick McKinnon this week against Green Bay. I love him at 41. My little other guy that I want to mention, I have two other guys I just want to mention at that low tier. Lamar Miller for Houston, going at home in Houston, going against Cleveland, and Chris Thompson in that game that I expect to be a shootout at home in Washington. I like both of those guys as well. Also, Jay Ajayi's price is way too fucking low. All right, I understand, Jay Ajayi is a risky guy to go with, but dude, it's going against Atlanta and he's 5,700. Yeah. I mean, I don't see why not in GPP. I don't think it's safe, but GPP, I don't see why not.
So you got McKinnon, and I love that call, honestly. It's real easy to put McKinnon and McGuire in lineups this week and spend up everywhere else. That's why some lineups might not get Fournette and Hunt, you know what I mean? Because it's so easy to go get that value. Right. But anyways, I'm with you. So let's see. Next on Hall Pass, we're trying to get that.
Oh yeah, wait, hold on, guys, real quick. I just want to re-announce. If you sign up for the VIP lineup subscription for Sunday main slate, you can go to greenlightdfs.com and sign up for that. Me and my uncle together. As you guys know, we have been building a lineup together every Friday for you guys, which we will also be doing again tomorrow. But me and him are going to come together and do the VIP lines as well. You guys have seen how ridiculous that free line's been going. Me and my uncle just have amazing chemistry when it comes to building lineups together. So we're going to start doing the VIP lines for the subscribers together as well. So it's about to go nuts. So I suggest that, especially starting this week, you go to greenlightdfs.com and sign up with the squad.
Yeah, I'm real excited about that, man. That's going to be fun. I'm glad CamATL, you are the man for letting me get involved with this. It's been a lot of fun. So I hope we can keep this thing going, and I hope the guys are liking it.
Dude, we've dropped damn near over 160 3 weeks.
Real quick, I wanted to shout this out to some guys. I was looking at some of the analytics behind the how this works on YouTube, and man, I saw your video. I noticed you were giving 2 lucky people $100 if you can get to 1,000 likes in your main video for the week. Speaking of, guys, I think we're going to have this video linked at the bottom, so if you haven't already gone and watched that video, go and give that video a watch for us, and hit that thumbs up. Give us a like, okay? If we can get those 1,000 likes on that main video and get our views up, and also, guys, check to make sure you're subscribed, okay? That really helps Cam out, and it shows us that you're liking the products that we're putting out to you guys, and it helps keep us motivated to keep going at this. It's a very competitive, hard, busy market that Cam's in, and I'm coming on to try to help him out with some of the boring logistical issues with all of this stuff. But if you could do that, that would be awesome. If you're still with us on this podcast, all right, I'm going to give a code word at the end of the podcast. All right. And I'm going to shout out to my Twitter. So that's at Uncle Craig DFS. All right. I'm going to shout out first person, give me that code word. Okay. And you're listening at the end. I'm going to give you $100 myself. All right. So Cam's being generous. I want to be generous. All right. So, but I'm not gonna.
Hell yeah, let's do it, guys. Go like that video. I believe we're halfway there. We're at a little over 500 likes.
I'm not gonna announce it on Twitter. Like, don't just start. Hey, texting me the code word or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all stay till the end so you can get his code word so you can be the first to give it to him when he announces it on Twitter. That way you guys can get that
Announce it
100.
on Twitter until his video hits 1,000 likes. So that's kind of my deal.
Yeah, we got to get that 1,000, guys. You guys got to spam it up. What I don't understand is that we are well over 5,000 views. How do we only have 500 likes? People need to start just scrolling down and liking that shit. You know what I'm saying? But some people just don't know how. I don't
You
think.
don't even have to comment, guys. You just have to go hit that thumbs up for us. Give us that like, and it really helps us out and keeps us motivated and going. So that's my little thing. So
All
go
right,
ahead.
let's touch on wide receivers, guys. Make sure you guys wait for that code word from them and get that video to 1,000 likes. The last one, the main video of the week. Go ahead and go find that one and then do that. So yeah, let's talk about
All right.
receivers.
Oh, so hall pass receivers. We're all over the place today. All right.
Yeah.
My first hall
Yeah.
pass receiver, the guy that I feel, and guys, I'm a cash game player more than a GPP. I love playing GPPs, but I realize what GPP is. It's like making risks and be willing to lose money in order to hit that big one, right? So you take those chances. So when I give you guys picks, I don't feel comfortable giving you my GPP strategy. I want to give you my cash strategy. So my favorite cash wide receiver this week is Chris Hogan. All right, that guy is just solid, steady with his targets, with his production. I mean, he's got 19, 23, 17, 21, you know what I mean? And could easily go off for a big one if he gets a multi-touchdown game. So I just really like his floor potential. I think he's very safe for my cash games, and I'm going to have him pretty highly owned
Yeah, I like him.
this week.
I like him. I'm going to start off with Adam Thielen from Minnesota. Regardless of who's quarterback there, matter of fact, Keenum was targeting him very heavily. Diggs is a little banged up. He most likely
Yep.
will play, but he's a little banged up. And Thielen gets a lot of targets here from Keenum. All
Yep.
right, going against Green Bay, you already know they're going to be having to throw. This is a great situation for Adam Thielen. I love him at 6,000. He has got to be on my hall pass. And I'm just going to mention another guy. I just have to look. I know it's not super safe, but I just have a really good feeling about this guy, and I've got to really, I really feel like I have to put him in the hall pass, and that's Terrell Pryor, man, for Washington. Going against San Francisco. San Francisco has really been struggling versus number one receivers the last 3 weeks. Sammy Watkins dropped 30 plus on them. Ty Hilton last week damn near got 30. They're just literally giving up a ton. I expect this duo of Terrell Pryor and Cousins to really start linking up sooner than later. And in week 4, they actually looked solid. He ended up getting 16, so I think he could even beat that out against San Francisco, a team who has a great offensive coordinator in Kyle Shanahan. He's going to keep the game close. So, yeah, Washington's going to have to throw. I like Terrell Pryor. I understand it's not super safe, but don't be surprised if he goes nuts out of nowhere.
Yeah, I wish
So
I
I
could.
just,
I wish I could endorse that take, but man, I'm still butthurt over what he did
yeah.
to me in Oakland. And I know you're as a fantasy player, DFS, we got to let that stuff go and
Right.
forget what happened. And I'm glad that you are giving that honest take to the guys. But man, I'm still butthurt over Terrell Pryor, so I am not messing with this guy.
Hey, you gotta leave it alone sometimes. You know, you gotta let it go.
I'll play him in some GPP.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two in my little. I like to do that 20 entry GPP into that $3, so that's fun. I just do that like, hey, this is my lotto for the week, and so I
Right.
like I like putting together creative, funky lineups into that kind of stuff. So I could throw him in some stuff, but no, I'm not
Did you
touching him in
did you
cash.
already did you already mention your second receiver? Or did you already let
Oh
me give
no.
your mine?
Okay, so my next receiver on a value basis, and man, I hate that this questionable tag keeps popping up. So obviously we monitor this guy, but at his price and his matchup this week, and just his ability on his team, I'm loving John Brown from Arizona against Tampa Bay at home in their dome. All right, it seemed like he's been getting healthy. He came back and had a good amount of snaps week 4, and then a good week 5. He only had 7 targets both those games, but I'm really liking this Tampa Bay Arizona game in general as a potential shootout. And so I like John Brown at that 4,500. I don't think he should be under the guys like Jerron Brown and that much lower than Larry Fitzgerald because I
He's
just think
definitely.
he's
I
better.
definitely feel. I feel like he's a safe, cheap option for cash games.
Yeah.
So I have to agree with you. I mean, he's got kind of that 10 point. He's gonna get about 10 points here in this matchup, and that's all you really need out of that price.
And
You know what I'm saying?
honorable
So
mentions for me because it was tough for me to pick that spot. John Brown ended up winning out, but there's some guys that I really like that are, good potential this week, and that's going to be Willie Snead from New Orleans coming back if
yeah.
he's healthy and good. I really
Oh
hate
yeah.
playing guys that are coming off like injuries, but
Dude, I don't give a shit. I love Willie Snead
yeah,
this week. I shouted
great
him out
spot.
so much in my main video. I love
Yeah,
him.
because he's going to be not taking on Slay, right? So he'll get
Exactly.
the weaker cornerback, which might open up a lot of
Right.
targets for him. So I feel you. And then our boy Taylor Gabriel from the ATL. I really like his potential this
Yeah.
week with Julio banged up and with Sanu likely to miss. Obviously, this changes if both of these guys are active, but if Sanu's inactive or Jones is inactive or whatever.
I think Devontae Freeman gets a big boost
I
here,
do too.
ladies and
I like
gentlemen.
him also. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I like him a lot. All right, so okay, so that's our hall pass,
hold on. You
guys.
got one more.
You want to go ahead and
You
read them
missed
out?
one of yours.
Oh, did I miss one?
Yeah,
Let me go ahead
Jarvis.
and see if I. Oh yeah, Jarvis Landry. I want to mention Jarvis Landry. I know a lot of people might not love it, but Jarvis Landry is just a guy that you love in cash. This matchup versus Atlanta is a sexy one. Devontae Parker's banged up. He most likely will play, but he's banged up. Jarvis Landry is the healthy one here in this situation. Going against the Atlanta Falcons in that dome, I like Jarvis Landry a lot here to show out. And if he happens to get in the end zone again, it's going to be a huge game because targets alone, he's always an amazing cash option. But if he happens to get in the end zone, he's going to have huge potential. So I like
Yeah,
Jarvis here. Got to
I
mention him.
second that for sure. With especially for all those reasons,
Yeah,
they're playing in Atlanta in a dome, which is always great for fantasy. And
right.
man, Atlanta is gonna beast and whoop on these guys. So I mean, it's gonna
Yeah.
lead to some soft, easy. Even if it's in garbage time, Landry's gonna be a garbage time hero. So
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
You
All
want me to
right, so
recap?
you go ahead and repeat our hall passes
Okay,
back
so
to them.
Cam's hall pass is Matthew Stafford, McCown, Kareem Hunt, Jerick McKinnon, Jarvis Landry, and Adam Thielen. All right, so we gave you two QBs, two running backs, and two wide receivers.
Oh, don't forget about Terrell Pryor. Add him in at the
All
end, too.
right,
Terrell
Terrell
Pryor, guys.
Pryor.
I got to do it.
All right, so my turn. My hall pass. You gave
Good.
me a code. You gave me some like a almost like a
Yeah,
mulligan, just in case there's the
exactly.
injury stuff. So that's fine. That's fine. All right, my hall pass guys are Drew Brees, Hoyer, and Keenum. Okay, I like them both very much equally for the basically the same types of reasons, but Hoyer gets a little
Yeah.
edge. Okay, uh, then my running backs were Fournette and Elijah McGuire, but McGuire is a contingency on injuries, guys. So we could also start tweeting this stuff out. Like we can update this like Sunday after actives and inactives come out. So that's another good reason to follow us on Twitter. We can
Right.
we can
Yep.
tweet this stuff out on if anything changes from this list. But my contingency is Alvin Kamara or Mark Ingram. Like them pretty much both equally, but Alvin Kamara gets the edge. And then my wide receivers are Chris Hogan and John Brown.
I like it, man. That's a solid hall pass. I feel like we've covered so much of the slate just covering our hall pass.
I know we
Um,
kind of started getting into the slate.
yeah,
You want to just go,
we can't help it.
you want to
All
just go
right.
super fast real quick?
Yeah, let's go ahead. I mean, we don't have to go. We got about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and talk quarterbacks real quick, man. At the top of the list, I have a very strong gut feeling that Brady isn't just. I understand he's 8,300, but going against the Jets, a lot of people might kind of shy away because there's good value there, and I understand that. But Brady's going to have a huge game here. Am I out of my mind, or is that understandable?
I think we got to definitely monitor his little shoulder injury that he's dealing with. But yeah,
Yeah,
he could have a huge game. And there's so much value this week at wide receiver that we pointed
right.
out and running back that you can get Tom Brady in if you want to. So I'm not hating on anybody who chooses to rep Tom Brady this week. I probably won't be playing him in cash because I do like my running backs of Fournette and Hunt. But Yeah, dude, you can't
No, of
fault
course. I
anybody.
mean, of course, you want to keep an eye on that shoulder injury because honestly, if I'm New England and Tom Brady gets flicked and feels any type of way about it, I'm sitting him the next week. Like, no reason to play him. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, New England's struggling so much this year on the defensive side of the ball that they're gonna lose any game that Brady happens to miss. So
Yeah,
they pretty much feel like they need to win as many games as they possibly can. So I would expect Brady to be out there,
yeah, I do.
and if he's out there, he's gonna be a boss.
Yeah,
So
I agree. He's the man. Aaron Rodgers. I'm saying no thank you to Aaron this week, which might be the
yeah,
perfect GPP play. He's
he
got
is a
the
great
worst
GPP.
matchup. You know what I mean? But it is Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers. You can't
Look,
count him out.
Xavier Rhodes is going to be on Jordy. That's going to open up a lot for Devontae Adams, and I love Randall Cobb
Yeah.
from the slot in this matchup versus Minnesota. I think Keenum is going to score on Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, I don't think Aaron Jones is going to be able to do what he did, so don't worry about all that. But Aaron Rodgers is going to have to throw, and who's he going to throw to? A lot of Randall Cobb and a lot of Devontae Adams.
Right.
Xavier Rhodes will most likely be on Jordy. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
the main reason I'm off him is just because of my hall pass Drew Brees.
Yeah,
We don't
there's just no reason to do it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're playing GPP and you just want to just do
right.
something just to do it. There's no reason to get Aaron Rodgers at 73 when you got Drew Brees at 100 less going against Detroit.
Right. At
Like,
home in
yeah.
his dome. I mean, it's just a better situation. So yeah,
I
that's
want to talk about Deshaun Watson. Take a little price cut down to 6,700.
yeah, his price.
Deshaun Watson at home in Houston. This dude, man, I'm proud of this dude because it's not often that you get such a like Deshaun Watson is such a good, legitimate person. Period. You know what I'm saying? Giving his first game check to those cafeteria ladies, like this dude, this kid is an actual like great kid. Same type of vibe you get from Dak Prescott.
Dude,
Like both of these kids are just good guys. Period.
listen, man. After hearing that story and seeing him play and just everything about this kid, like I think he is on my permanent hall pass list, like the real one that I have with my wife.
Dude, I love
Dude,
him.
I like him.
I love
He's
him.
right up there with Russell Wilson to me right now. You know, with I remember when Cam Newton came in as a rookie. That dude won me a nice prize
Yeah.
for one of my fantasy leagues because I took the chance and drafted him. And
You must not have been in the league with me that year if you won.
no, this was a big money league. This was a big money
Okay.
league, right
Okay.
then. But yeah, oh man, don't talk that kind of trash, man. We'll be arguing for like 15 minutes in front of the squad. All right, no, Deshaun Watson, love him. Man, I like him. I want to mix him in. You know, he's just been so hot. But it just seems like to me, and I know you were talking about this in your video that Cleveland is going to be able to score. No J.J. Watt getting hurt. You know, Houston defense might let down. I just not really a strong believer in Cleveland, so I just don't know if they can keep it competitive. One of the big reasons Deshaun has been so beastly is because the other teams have been scoring and making him go
I
there.
know, but listen, Houston's missing their best defensive player, and Kevin Hogan looked very solid, and they've got some good weapons on that offense with Duke Johnson, with Njoku coming out looking like Rob Gronkowski. So, yeah, dude, I mean, I think Kevin Hogan is going to be able to move. Like, Kevin Hogan's a quick player, too. Like, he's mobile, you know, so he can throw and he's mobile. Kevin Hogan is a great. Every time he has gotten his opportunity, he plays solid. But they never want to give him the opportunity because they drafted Kaiser, so they really don't want to do that. But at the end of the day, if you look at who's been playing better, it's been Hogan significantly. And Hogan versus this banged up Houston defense, I honestly think Hogan is going to be able to score and move that ball against Houston, and Deshaun's going to have to keep it competitive and throw.
Yeah, I like Deshaun as one of my favorite GPP type of plays. I just think
Yeah.
he has such huge upside that he is a perfect GPP this week. You know, if for some reason his ownership is low, I don't know what his ownership is going to be. I
Yeah.
try to predict and I struggle with how people are going to react. But no, I'm with you, man. I love this dude.
I mean, while we're on him, I want to mention Will Fuller.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people are going to fall into that trap, you know, seeing how great he did and be like, oh, I've got to play Will Fuller on every lineup.
right.
You don't have to, guys.
GPP.
All right? I mean, Yeah, Fuller still only got targeted, what, three
Three
times?
times. That's it. Two
So,
of
I
those were
mean, guys,
touchdowns.
yeah, and it was a very competitive game. So imagine if Houston does happen to keep this under control all game.
Right.
He's not going to get any targets that whatsoever. If you're going to go that Houston receiving core, I would just spend up, go DeAndre, because he's a legitimate guy who's going to get a shit ton of targets regardless. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry too much about Fuller. Don't be caught in that trap this week. Who else? Who do you want to talk on now?
For the people playing the main slate, if they're listening to us, we got to get this out to them. But
Uh-huh.
let's talk a little bit about the Philly Carolina game real quick. We don't have to. We can just hit on it. Cam and Wentz, definitely like them as GPP type of plays. Cam has the potential to go off against Philly, and I think Carson Wentz is just dialed in right now. So I think they're both really decent plays. I hate
If I had to choose one, I would say Cam.
Cam. He's got the better
Cam's
matchup.
got the better
And at
matchup
home.
against Philly. Philly's given up 274 passing yards a game to quarterback and allowing almost 2 passing touchdowns. And Cam has been on fire, and it's been on the road. 37-29 the last 2 games. Another good matchup against a team who's going to score on Carolina. I like Cam if I had to choose one, honestly.
Cam,
And he's only 100 more.
Cam is
I would
good.
take
Would
it.
you play them in cash versus any of the others that we've talked about, like Drew Brees or the value guys at the bottom, Deshaun Watson?
No, I would still rather Breeze.
Yeah.
He's just, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean maybe Cam. I might go Cam over Deshaun Watson. I might consider that because Cam's just been super hot. And like we talked about, I mean, yes, I think Cleveland's going to be able to keep it close, but there is that possibility it doesn't.
Right.
With this Carolina game, you know that's staying close.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? You know that Wentz is going to move the ball and score. Cam's going to move the ball and score. It's going to be a battle. I love that game.
Yeah,
so,
I just have been
yeah.
let down by Thursday night games in my history last several years. Like the Thursday night games sometimes are I would say more often than not they disappoint as far as a fantasy production standpoint. Now some have been amazing, but it's like rare.
It's prime time though,
I know.
dude. It seems like every time we're opposite on this. Like I've gotten some good production out of my guys on
I
Thursdays.
usually like to fade those
Thursdays
guys.
and Mondays. My guys.
I
go
usually
crazy.
fade them.
What?
And like let's take last week. Last
Right.
week the Thursday game was New England and Tampa Bay, right? And like it was supposed to be this
Yeah, it was
huge,
garbage.
right? Exactly. That's all I'm saying. Like even the one that's set up to be the best of the year almost can bomb. So that's all I'm saying. Like I usually like to try to avoid that unless I'm playing those primetime slates. But I don't want to really stack that game. It would be a decent GPP strategy to throw like $3 for a lineup and like, hey, I'm gonna go super hard in this game. But yeah, I'm cool.
I'm leaning towards just going Sunday main only
Yeah,
anyway.
I feel you. So
Honestly.
speaking of, what about this game, Tampa Bay at Arizona? We got Winston and Palmer right there next to each other, 62 and 60.
Honestly, I don't really like it. I know you like it. I like Palmer.
Yeah.
Going against Tampa Bay. I think that Winston Mike Evans connection is going to be a little watered down this week. With Patrick Peterson being on Mike Evans. I do think that if Deshaun Jackson plays, I think Jackson could beat them over the top. I think Adam Humphries and Deshaun Jackson are the way to go if you want to somehow get involved in that Tampa Bay offense.
Right. I feel you.
Sorry, my phone keeps going
No,
off.
you're-
I'm so fucking unprofessional.
We already talked about Jacoby Brissett. Like him, his value 5,800. If you're playing through the full slate, we like him against this matchup. So he has a good floor with his running ability. So I like that. Are you touching Big Ben at all?
Hell no. No.
No, you're not.
Part of me for some reason, I don't know why, but I feel like Ben is gonna get it going here. Honestly, I can't tell you why I feel
it's
that.
like rope-a-dope. He's like, oh, maybe I just don't have it anymore, and la la la.
And then all of a sudden he goes for 30 plus Draftkings points.
Right, 6 touchdowns and like just lights it on fire. And he is going to have to score against Kansas City. You know what I mean? So I like him at GPP. I'm not buying he's done. I think that's just like he's tired of reporters asking him. He had a worst game of his career. You know what I mean? And they're all up in his face asking him stuff. I'm not buying that crap of, oh, maybe I'm done. This dude's a freaking competitor.
You guys have to understand, like, Kansas City's defense is good, but they're nothing like that Jacksonville defense. Like every one of those guys on that Jacksonville defense are on my hall pass. Like, dude, seriously, Jalen Ramsey, Boye, those guys are just fucking beasts, man. Like when you watch the games, they're just so like I'm sorry I'm going too so deep
No.
into this right now, but they're just so physical. They're big corners.
Oh no.
You know what I'm
Yeah, they're
saying?
awesome.
Like they manhandle receivers.
Which is ridiculous,
It's
man. You know what? I'm
awesome.
I'm gonna gripe actually right now because Big Ben pisses me off. All right, why did they let that game plan that they had for that game last week was horrible, and it totally screwed us and the squad because of Le'Veon Bell. We were all over him, and we didn't feel right of not giving people Le'Veon Bell because of that matchup. And then Ben decides, hey, I'm gonna throw the ball like all these times, even before they were down. Like the reason they got down is because Ben's throwing. When all they need
Right.
to do is be feeding Le'Veon. The game plan just didn't make sense. I don't understand why they did that. I went back, I watched that game, and
Yeah.
it just, I'm like, this is frustrating how they're play calling.
This Pittsburgh team has been off ever since they didn't come out for the anthem. And I
Yeah,
honestly personally think that was the wrong way to go
I
first
I
of
do
all
too.
at
I
all.
I think that has.
Like I understand you want to make a statement, but it turned out to be a just total
Right.
disaster. Like you stay in the locker room and then one of your players goes out by
I know it
himself.
made them look so
You know what I'm
bad. I
saying?
know. We
It
can't get
makes the
talking about
whole
this.
team
We'll
just look
talk for an
horrible.
hour about
Yeah, you know,
this.
you're
All
right.
right. So
Right.
okay, we're
Let's
done.
move
We
on.
talked about the guys at the bottom. They're all on our hall passes, so we're done.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett, Josh McCown, guys, we love them. Brian Hoyer, man, me and my uncle love Brian Hoyer this week again versus the Josh Norman-less Washington Redskins. So yeah, man, there you can't go wrong with that. Derek Carr is most likely going to be back going against the Chargers. I don't see why not. I mean, you can in GPP. It doesn't feel safe him coming off an injury, but why not? Let's touch
All right,
on running
Le'Veon Bell,
backs.
no thank you at that price. I'm not falling for it
No, no,
again.
me
I mean,
either.
he very well could be the guy,
Fuck
but
no.
I don't like this matchup. That price is too high. Everybody,
At 9,600, that's
it's ridiculous.
crazy.
I mean, last week we
No,
were on him because of his
hell no.
matchup and that price, but now his price and it's just ridiculous. Everybody knows we love Hunt and Fournette and Gurley, so we could talk about Gordon.
Right. Yeah. Talk about some Melvin Gordon, man. Melvin Gordon is going against Oakland. He's the guy that just had a ridiculous game last weekend, and I had him in the back of my mind, but I ended up not playing him,
Yeah,
just because there was other guys. I was so big on Le'Veon, and I'm
it's
tired
because
of
we
putting
put in
so much.
Le'Veon. I know.
Yeah, I'm tired of putting so much love into Le'Veon. Like he just hasn't been Le'Veon, and it's just look. At the end of the day, he can't do it all by himself, and that Pittsburgh team in general is just crashing.
Guys, to be real, we had a meeting about this, Cameron and I did, and we're like, man, okay, I noticed a lot of this that we gave out was Le'Veon, and we're having to take some risks elsewhere. It's not really the most cash play, and I was like, let's put in Gordon instead of Le'Veon because he seems like to be one of the better cash game values, and then we don't have to take this risk with Taylor. Turns out that would have hit, but we didn't feel comfortable not giving Bell, okay, and
Right.
so. My apologies.
Well,
We
that's the
will.
reason. That's the reason that I have my uncle. My uncle. That's why my uncle, and I are going to be working on these lineups together now, because the way we put lines together on Fridays for you guys has just been a perfect strategy. So we need to do the same thing, and I want to give my VIP people the best I can put. I mean, we still had a line go over 161 in the lineup, so it wasn't a horrible weekend. But at the end of the day, there's no excuse. Like when we're sitting here and we're damn near close, like I'm damn near close to put Melvin Gordon in, and ended up turning fucking lineups to damn near 200 points. There's been several weekends, several weekends in this season that I've had the potential of going 200 plus.
Yeah.
But because I talked myself off certain players, I failed it. So having my uncle help me with it, it's gonna be different for sure. We're gonna try to get that 200 plus.
Yeah, we put in that research, that time. Like, seriously, Cam is putting 60 hours a week just on NFL, not mentioning all the other stuff he does. And I'm putting in crazy time. So we are doing all this research to
Dude,
try to help you out.
there's no sleep, guys. You guys know how serious I am about the DFS squad. Like, I want this shit to be bigger than me. Like, I'm putting in a ton of work now so that the DFS squad and the people who have been running with me since I first started these videos, I can give y'all bigger and better as we grow. I want y'all to grow with me. You know what I'm saying? And see what can become of everything. So YouTube isn't the only thing that we're doing. This Fantasy Locker Room podcast, I'm big on this. I want this to become great. A bunch of things are in the works. Okay, so keep a lookout in that. We are just growing every single day, and so
Upgrading the
yeah,
website to give y'all more content and
all
have
of
an
that. We're
easier
gonna get.
means
Oh
of
yeah,
delivering
that's
y'all
another
the
thing.
information.
I'm going to be bringing in some writers too. So if you're a good sports writer, or if you have some good sports writing history and you've done it in the past and you know what you're talking about, I would prefer you to know as many sports as you possibly can, because I don't want to have a whole bunch of different writers writing about a different sport. Like if I can get a few sports writers who have a good niche with, like, let's say PGA, NHL, and MLB, and the other guy knows NFL, NBA. You know what I'm saying? And you guys can come together, and because we need some sports writers. Because honestly, guys, I literally don't stop working. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no off time. I put in a shit ton of work for you guys. Like, my uncle can attest to this.
Yes.
I literally have no time off.
None. I mean,
None
you
at all.
might get
Like,
early mornings as your slow time, really, and that's
right.
about it. And after that, I mean, it's just so fast and furious. He's answering everybody on Twitter. You
Yeah.
know, he's answering on the website. He's kind of trying to do it on and stretch pretty thin. So we're trying to make the processes more smooth for y'all's benefit and for his. You know,
Yeah.
so be patient with us. We're trying to make these improvements and make sure everybody is 100% satisfied with what we're doing.
Things are gonna get things are looking up, guys. All right, let's keep going, man.
Hey,
We've gone off
yeah,
topic a little
okay,
bit, but
let's
there's
go
just a bunch
fast.
of stuff we want to talk about. All right.
We love Freeman, we love Gurley, right? Ty
Yeah,
Montgomery, can
Devontae
you
Booker.
play him? He's practicing this week.
Ty Montgomery, yeah. If Ty Montgomery is going to play, then yeah, I think you can, because he's a pass catching back. But do I really
Oh,
feel comfortable? No. I feel
I
like I'd
don't.
throw him in a
I don't.
GPP maybe. That's yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable. One guy right below him, I do feel pretty comfortable with. He's kind of like the Melvin Gordon of this
Uh-huh.
week. You know, I wish his price was a little bit lower, and I would almost make him a lock. But C.J. Anderson seems really, really safe. Like if you're wanting to spin down and get somebody with low ownership, I think C.J. Anderson is not going to carry much ownership. I think he's going to fly under the radar. And man, Denver is going to destroy the Giants.
Yeah, they
All
are.
right.
They are, dude.
And they're just going to pound the rock with C.J. Anderson. And I just think C.J. Anderson has a very high floor this week. I know we haven't talked about him much, but I really
No, I
like him.
agree with it. I'm glad you brought him up, because we definitely got to mention guys like that with a situation like he's getting. They're good. Denver is going to destroy New York. We all know that. So yeah, you gotta get some CJ Anderson exposure. I want to talk about Lamar
Do
Miller.
not play any Giants this week, guys.
Yeah,
I
no,
wouldn't even play it in GPP. Like I wouldn't even do that. Like
no,
normally I like to do stuff like that. I'm not playing any Giants this week. They are
no,
in
no,
shambles.
thank you.
Okay?
Lamar Miller, guys, at home in Houston, going against Cleveland. We like it. Chris Thompson,
Yeah.
like it. He mentioned Alvin Kamara. There's a lot of guys we already talked about when we were talking about our high. Theo Riddick. I love Theo Riddick here, guys. He's a guy that hasn't had a monster game so far yet this season, but he's due for a 20-plus day, and I think it's possible here against New Orleans. So I like Theo
Yeah.
Riddick a lot at 43.
Ty Montgomery's status makes Aaron Jones completely not playable for me
Right.
because I can't predict that situation and what their touch breakdown is going to be. So if you find out that Ty's inactive, then Aaron Jones becomes very sexy. I liked Doug Martin in his debut. So Doug is
Yeah.
has great potential. I don't
Arizona's
really
really
like the
good
match
versus the
in
run.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you, but he's a workhorse back at a decent price. But yeah, so I'm with you. I like Lamar Miller in this price range a little bit better, just based on
I
matchup.
think we're good
And
on running backs, dude. We've pretty much, I mean, we talked about so much on our hall pass
yeah,
that we can just move
we
on
talked
to
about
it.
all the value,
Yeah.
guys. Okay,
All right.
cool.
So
I'm
at
with you.
wide receiver, Antonio Brown versus Kansas City. Now they have a very good cornerback over there in Kansas City. All right, and Antonio Brown is going to be matched up with him. And like Antonio is pretty much matchup proof, though. You know what I'm saying? But I still just don't feel like playing him at 93. What about you?
Yeah, so you were talking about Marcus Peters, I think.
Yeah,
So
Marcus. Yeah.
yeah, uh, Yeah, man, I don't know. They're feeding him the rock right now.
Right.
They're mad and angry. I would take a shot on some Antonio Brown in GPPs. I'm not going to shy away from that. Like I said, I would take shots on Ben also. So
Right.
I like Antonio. I think he's going to be pretty low played. But
He
I'm not
is.
playing him in
Good
cash,
GPP. No,
guys.
I agree. GPP, he's perfect. DeAndre Hopkins, I talked about him, guys. Don't fall for the Will Fuller trap. I like DeAndre Hopkins a lot here. He gets consistent targets going against Cleveland in a game that I expect Hogan to be able to move the ball against Houston. I like DeAndre. We talked about him already. We talked about I like Larry Fitzgerald versus Tampa Bay. Brent Grimes is too small to handle Larry. Okay, I talked about that. Larry's just too. He's got that old man strength. He's an OG versus Brent Grimes. It's just gonna be a mismatch.
Right, Michael Thomas being
Yeah,
matched up with Slay,
Slay,
so
Willie
we're
Snead.
liking Snead
Yeah,
instead. Gotcha.
yeah,
If you want to pivot off of my boy Hogan and go for like the big GPP type of play, Brandon Cooks is the perfect guy to put in your GPPs. He is boom or bust all day. So if you
right.
feel like playing Brandon Cooks, I just don't think that this game script favors him. I don't know if the Jets are going to put up that many points to keep New England motivated, but still, I still like Hogan as far
I
as
mean, here's the thing.
safe cash.
That the game plan for New England is never to pump the brakes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They run the score up on everybody. And I think
Yeah.
the Jets are able to put enough points on the scoreboard here in this one that New England feels like they just need to keep throwing. And that's just what they do anyway. They'll run the score up till it's like 45-6. They don't give a shit. So yeah, I mean I like all these New England guys. I like Amendola even. Amendola gets consistent targets in that offense. Let's talk about
Going
Ty
down the
Hilton.
list.
Ty
Okay,
Hilton.
yeah.
Yeah, we almost skipped over him. Ty
He's
Hilton.
he's the main reason we're talking about the full slate instead of the main
Right,
slate.
exactly, because I've got to talk about him. Him and Brissett are a great matchup here against
Yeah.
Tennessee. I love
Yep.
that stack if you're playing that slate. All right, I
Yep.
love it. Ty Hilton, Jacoby Brissett, Golden Tate,
Ty
Golden
Hilton
Tate.
is on my hall pass list for the full slate. Like
Yeah,
he bumps
Hilton's
some guys.
Hilton's a beast, dude. He's getting it together with Brissett. They're starting to really have a good connection there. So yeah, Mike Evans, are you gonna play him at all
Well, I
against
was
the
just about to
Peterson?
bring him up. I was like, I didn't want you to skip over him.
Yeah.
Dude, that price is too low for Mike Evans, even against freaking Peterson. So, oh man, I want to play him. So I'm going to play him in some GPPs. Just
I think he ends up scoring 12 DraftKings points.
you know, he very well, and that stinks.
Yeah.
So I want to play him a couple times. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not going to give him to cash people because of that matchup, though. Like
Right,
I
no,
won't be
hell no.
we won't be putting Mike Evans in any of
No, he
the
won't be in our
lineups.
subscription lines. No, that's just not a safe move.
Well,
Jar-
maybe the GPP one that we give.
we talked about Jarvis Landry. I love him in that matchup. Devontae Adams, seeing that Xavier's going to be on Jordy. Devontae Adams is a good pick. Randall Cobb's a good play, guys.
Yeah.
Both of these Minnesota receivers, pay attention to how Stephon Diggs ends up being, but he should play. Stephon Diggs and Thielen are in play here. Even Keenum versus Green Bay. You want to mention some guys?
Well, I just want to touch on the game tonight. Hopefully, they listen to this ahead of time. But
Uh-huh.
I like Kelvin Benjamin, and man, I'm really liking Funchess right now.
Oh,
He
dude,
he's
yeah,
just my
me too.
favorite
Me too.
Carolina wide receiver. His price should actually be more than Kelvin. He's just involved ever since Greg Olson went down. So I really like Funchess. If you're playing in tonight's game, guys, I could throw Funchess in and then leave it blank forever. Make my team up later and just throw up Funchess in there just to get a
I'm with
piece
you.
of that game.
Yeah, I'm with you
Oh,
on that. I
you
love
are
him.
you
I
talked
love,
about. Go ahead. Sorry.
huh? I love Willie Snead. We talked
Yeah.
about liking John Brown. My uncle
Yeah.
loves John Brown in this one.
Love
I
him.
think he's a good safe cash play as well. Obviously the New England wide receivers. Any of these? Let's go really bottom of the barrel. Guys who are reaching for like 3,500 and below. Is there anybody you can give these people? At that
3,500.
really
Well,
really
I mean,
low
there's some
price.
pretty big names like Sammy Watkins at 4,100 is
Yeah, that's
super
ridiculous.
low,
That's
but
super
he's
low, but
against
bad matchup.
Jacksonville's.
Bad
Yeah,
matchup.
horrible.
Yeah.
Uh, it looks like Kendall Wright or let me see. Yeah, Kendall Wright is. I just want to look at his targets with Trubisky. I don't know. You could take a play. I mean, that's not that low. Let's see. I'm still trying to get down to.
If you guys want to go absolutely nuts, Roger Lewis for the Giants.
Oh,
I mean, dude,
no,
they're missing everybody,
I
and
got
he's
I got
3,800.
I do got some names actually.
Go ahead.
Doxson for
Okay.
Washington.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
do
like
like
it.
him. He seems to be getting more involved, and that's just because I'm not on with Pryor, right? And then that guy Smith Schuster from Pittsburgh, he's been pretty
Yeah, I
active at
like Juju.
3,600. And
Yeah,
Kansas City can score. I like the game script for that, so I would
yeah,
like to roll him on a GPP and
yeah.
maybe
I like me some Juju.
whatever.
I'm with you on
Yeah.
Juju for sure. That's about it though. Oh, Robbie Anderson at 44 is a good little value versus New England. Um,
Cooper Cup
Anybody else?
manning the
Not really.
slot. Cooper Cup manning the slot against that defense.
Yeah, yeah. Cooper Cup could be a solid play too. All right, let's move on to tight ends.
Sounds good.
Let's talk tight ends, guys. Um, what are you thinking, Craig, when you first look at the tight ends? Who's really
Uh,
catching your eye?
our boy ASJ. I've been on him for the last couple weeks, and he has not
I
been
agree.
disappointing me.
Dude, Austin Safarian Jenkins, amazing matchup. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm either going George Kittle with Hoyer, or I'm going Austin Safarian Jenkins. That's it. I'm either going one of those two guys. I'm going Austin Safarian at 43 or Kittle at 34. Kittle at 34 is just an amazing matchup. I mean, he's
Yeah,
just super cheap and paired with Hoyer. I like it.
he's my favorite value tight end of the week is Kittle. You know, not meaning to chase that points. He's just very actively involved in that game, and he's got a great matchup. So I'm with you 100%. I want to go a little
Oh,
bit cheaper and hit your Njoku
go
call
ahead.
from the
Yeah,
video.
I like that too. After you say Njoku, I'm gonna go up higher, and I'm gonna say a little bit of some Travis Kelce.
Travis
Okay,
Kelce.
I think Travis Kelce. I got a man
Yeah.
crush on Travis Kelce this week. I think that he ends up having big numbers versus Pittsburgh. I like Travis
Got you. So if
Kelce a
we're going
lot.
to add some hall pass guys to our list, not counting Austin Safarian Jenkins, okay, you're picking Kelsey for a hall pass tight end?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kelce as the big guy, and you will probably say Austin Safarian Jenkins, right?
Well, no, we're excluding him because we both just love him. We love Austin
Are you
Safarian
gonna say
Jenkins
it?
guy. I'm going to give him a
Yeah.
different guy because he's kind of the
Okay.
obvious play. And I'm going to go Ryan Griffin. Uh,
Okay.
Ryan Griffin,
Yeah.
I like his
Yeah, that's a
potential.
solid pick.
This is a GPP play, guys.
Yeah.
I like his potential to hit big and be kind of low owned, kind of looking for that low owned kind of guy like Kittle was last week. I like him too.
Hunter Henry, guys, going against an Oakland team who has just ever since last year, they've been known as the team that gives up a shit ton of tight ends. Hunter Henry's got a good matchup there. Honestly, guys, the two guys I'm really most happy with is Safarian Jenkins and George Kittle.
Yeah,
Those are my two tight ends. They just have great matchups. They're cheap, and I can pretty much get whoever I want everywhere else. So that's pretty much where I'll be going. Njoku is only 3,000, so I like his super cheap price, guys. So yeah, but still, I mean,
yeah. So
yeah.
defense. Let's get on it because I
Yeah,
know we're
let's do it.
running late. All
Let's
right.
do it.
So here's my deal. If you're playing the full slate, you need to be locking in Denver D. You should
Right.
not play anything else. I don't care what kind
No.
of contest you're playing.
Agree. Agree.
All right, Denver
Yeah, if
against
you're
the
playing,
Giants.
yeah,
With
yeah.
everybody banged up the way they are, and Denver's strength is against the pass, and they don't have a passing attack right now. Okay, New York Giants will not score a point in this game.
They won't. It's gonna be horrible. Yeah, it's gonna be ugly, dude. I could even see going I could see going I like the Ravens versus Chicago and Trubisky. Ravens at home going against Chicago at 3,700. I like the Falcons versus Miami at
Yeah, they're my
3,500.
sneaky D for the main slate. Falcons.
And really,
I do like
that's about it. You have any other little sneaky ones?
I mean, right now I've been on Houston, Jaguars, Falcons, kind of to mimic what you're saying.
Right.
You know, there might be some sneaky ones that I think about in GPP.
Right.
But nothing I feel comfortable with as far as recommending to the viewers. It's like my own personal soapbox risk that I'm willing to throw my money at. You know what I mean?
Right, I agree. All right, guys. Well, Craig, what's that keyword for everybody?
All right, that keyword is going to be respect. All right.
There we go.
Respect.
Respect. So,
All right.
the first person, once we hit 1,000 likes on that last video, my uncle's gonna tweet out what is the code word, and the first person to give him the word respect on Twitter at Uncle Craig DFS will get an extra $100, man. So we're just making it rain out here.
Like I thought our goal was to actually make money with this crap, and we're like losing it.
It doesn't even matter. Like, I'm not in it for the money.
No,
you know what I'm saying? I'm in it just
fun.
because I love doing this shit. It's fun. We've got like a family vibe with everybody. Like, it's super fun, man. So everybody, make sure you guys, like, I want to give these hundreds away, man. So make sure you go like that video as many times as you can. Tell your grandma, your auntie, your uncle, your neighbor, your neighbor's neighbor, all of that shit. Tell them to go like the video. Thank you guys for watching as always, and we're out.
Peace, guys.